Ladies and gentlemen, we have a wonderful treat here. I, Buff McDuffin, will be interviewing the unknown alcoholic. You heard that right. He is actually going to speak.
That's right, brother! You listen to the unknown alcoholic, brother! I'm gonna tell you and the rest of everybody in the universe, brother, that when I get into the ring, I'm gonna destroy that guy, brother! I'm gonna be nothing but elbows and assholes to the ground, brother! We're live on Raw tonight. The only thing Raw is gonna be the ass of the guy when I get done with him with the 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring, brother! Yeah!
Unknown alcoholic. Last I checked, weren't you dead?
Don't ask about that, brother! So who's my opponent?
Coming in from stage right. How are you feeling about your bout with the unknown alcoholic?
Well, yeah, the unknown alcoholic wants to talk about ass, yeah. Well, let me tell you who's ass, and that is the unknown alcoholic! Well, this guy, he thinks that he's some kind of badass because he was dead. Yeah, well, the macho man, Will the Thrill, has been dead inside for years. Yeah, the unknown alcoholic likes to drown his sorrows in alcohol. I eat glass for breakfast. Yeah.
You listen to me!
Whoa! You want to interrupt my promo,
Yes,
brother?
I am, because I'm going to tell you something, brother.
Alright, this better be good.
Just because you're taller than me doesn't mean I can't get a stepladder, climb up, brother, and rip those gangly ass teeth out of your mouth, brother, with your stretched neck and your herpes-infested mouth, brother. I'm gonna bend you over a coffee table, you freaking butt nut. I'll tell you what, brother, you're gonna get the taste of an Alabama crap dangle. Yeah!
Well, unknown alcoholic, yeah, if you want to get to my teeth, you gotta have legs. And just because I'm tall doesn't mean I can't get down there and break every last one
Of your bones! Oh, finally, I could hear you a little bit. I'll see your ass in the ring, brother. Yeah!
Well, good luck there, Will the Thrill. So, this is going to be a match like none I've ever seen on Monday Night Raw. I am your host, Buff McDuffin, and we are going to have a Raw show.
First, the challenger, weighing in at 220 pounds. He is the master of disaster, even with a weak bladder. Give it up with the one and the only unknown alcoholic. Yeah!
Here we go, guys!
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from Dayton, Ohio, weighing in at 228 pounds, Tommy Will!
This is a match that folks have been clamoring for, and they are excited to finally get it.
Superstar has stated that conquering Roman Reigns is his destiny.
Hello everybody, it's me Nate, aka Devil Dog, and I'm back with another game review. This time I'm reviewing WWE 2K24. It was developed by Visual Concepts and published by 2K Games and released on March 8th of 2024 on the PlayStation 4 and 5, the Xbox One, Series X and S, and Microsoft Windows. Now, if you played last year's game, you realize that they made vast improvements in it, because the game they had before that, they took a hiatus because it was so full of bugs and glitches. But last year's version was really good, and this one pretty much is just like adding a little bit more icing to the cake. It is considered the 24th installment in this wrestling franchise, not including when they took on a different company. And the main thing about this has to be the overall amount of content you get with this game. First of all, the roster right out of the gate is over 200 different wrestlers, and there's even more than that. A lot of them are locked behind paywalls with like DLC that the characters aren't done yet. At least that's what they say. Like CM Punk, the Dudley Boys, stuff like that are considered DLC. And also there are certain characters that you can unlock if you pre-ordered certain versions of the game. I know if you got a certain version, you got basically the whole Rhodes family of Stardust and Dusty Rhodes and the whole bunch of them. And of course also if you buy a certain version, then you can get one of the stages in it is WrestleMania 40. Now if you just get the regular version, you don't get that. But what do you expect? This is a 2K game, and they want to maximize those profits every single way they possibly can. But let's get into the nitty-gritty. What exactly does come with this title? Naturally, it has a bunch of different modes and some new ones as well. But first of all, I'm going to start off with their main thing, which is the showcase of the Immortals. Normally, the other games in this series, they would center on the life and the career of one particular superstar, and they had these really cool things where the superstar themselves were actually talking about what happened and explaining, when they did this match and all this. Like the one was, I think it was Rey Mysterio, and the other one was John Cena. Well, this time they make it a little bit different, and it kind of comes off. I don't really like it as much, but this in the Showcase of Immortals goes over all of the different WrestleManias and all these super matches with all famous characters, everyone from Andre the Giant, classic Macho Man Randy Savage, Ricky Steamboat, and all that, and it's done really cool, but the cutscenes when the guy's talking, since naturally a lot of these people no longer live anymore, they couldn't get them. They do have some footage they show of their matches and stuff, but it doesn't really blend seamlessly like the previous games did, where it would be actual footage of the match and it would cut seamlessly into the video game as you would play it. They don't do that really as much in this, and it's still cool to actually go back and play as all these different characters, but I kind of like the showcase in the previous games better. Next up is My GM mode, where you play as a general manager of any of the different things from NXT, SmackDown, Raw, whatever, and it adds some new stuff to it, but it's fundamentally the same as the last game's GM mode, where you end up making matches, booking things, and setting up a show. And if you like that sort of stuff, it's good. They did add more to it, but it's not my thing, but it's still, I can see people liking it. Next up is the My Rise mode. And this is, at least in the older ones, you create your character and you go working from the ground up, learning moves, earning points, upgrading your character, and trying to make it to the top of tier to have like a belt of whatever show you go on. This one's done a little differently. It's set in two different campaigns. One that's known as Undisputed, and that's where basically they play it off like a what-if scenario if Roman Reigns just decided he was going to quit wrestling and drop the belt and go into movies. And this is for the men. And they started off with a really cool thing where they actually explain what's going on. And you jump in playing as a character, working your way up from a nobody to end up winning this tournament and becoming the undisputed champion. Now, the other thing is known as Unleashed, and that's for the women's wrestlers. And they have their own little thing called TBD. It's almost like a version of NXT, but for women, where they start in ballrooms and they work their way up to becoming superstars. And in all these modes, you can use your own creative player you've created, which is really cool, because we all know I wanted to do it for this video, but I couldn't get it to work. work. Don't worry, people. There's going to be a rant about this game because there are some issues with it. I'm playing it on the PS4 version, not the PS5. So right off the bat, it's visually very impressive, but you can tell they spent most of their time with the PS5, the current gen versions and not the last gen, because the graphics really aren't that great on last gen. They still, you can tell who the people are and they look great, but the hair physics and the texture work and the sweat and everything looks so much realistic on PS5, and PS4 not so much. But the other modes you have in this is the backstage brawl, like from last time, but this time it is expanded to where it's much larger. We have different items you can grab now, a bunch of new different weapons. The new ones they added was ambulance match, where pretty much self-explanatory. Ambulance pulls up near the ring, and you beat the crap out of the other person, and the only way to win is to get them thrown in the back of the ambulance and shut both doors. Next up is a casket match, which, no offense to me, it feels and plays too much like the ambulance match. The only difference there is you beat up the guy and you throw him in a casket, and then once you shut the lid of the casket, you win. The other thing they added, which was kind of cool, is special guest referees. So you can have special guest referees that actually will interfere with you, and depending on if they're a good guy or a bad guy, they actually will act pretty cool, actually. And of course, the My Faction returns, which is the card game, which I've never been a fan of. It's almost like collecting cards and unlocking them and stuff like that. And now, don't worry, you can pay real money to get new cards and stuff, which I have a problem with that. Now, as for gameplay mechanics, it's fundamentally the same as last year's game, just a little bit quicker. You have to be a little bit better with your response times on counters and stuff like that. But they made it a little bit quicker, and the only thing I really noticed that they added is super finishers. So when you build up your meter bar to be able to do a finisher, if you build it up all the way, you can do a super finisher to really beat the crap out of the guy. And like I said, this game has so many different versions of it that I've never been a fan of that. You get pre-order bonus versions, your digital deluxe versions, your collector's edition version, your regular version, your supercalifragilisticexpialidocious version. I mean, it really is excessive in the amount of versions they have of this, and I really don't like it when they do that. They should just make one version. I get maybe one for last gen and one for current gen, but nonetheless, there's just too many versions, and that's going to be another thing in my rant, along with the terms of service agreement. My God, 27 minutes of terms of service just to start this game. That and the other thing I have a problem with, which, like I said, will be in my rant, is the face mapping feature. The last one I used to do this, and I loved it, to where you could actually take your picture, post it online, and then use it to download the data to wrap your face on a character model you built, to where you could make yourself in the game. It was so much easier last year. This time, it just keeps messing up, and I was not able to do it in time for this review. Oh well, that's going to be a part of my rant. Now, as for overall price, honestly, for the amount of content you get with these games, it is worth it. Naturally, it's $70 for current versions and $60 for last gen versions. I did notice it is kind of glitchy on last gen versions. Some issues with like the character models glitching out, but nothing that really is super bad or nothing. So, like I said, with the overall roster of the different wrestlers in here, the way it plays, it does play a lot better and faster than the last one. And I do like their new additions of the ambulance, casket, and special guest referee. I've never been a fan of the My Faction card thing. The My Rise mode is different. I kind of liked it. I liked playing through the Women's Unleashed mode. It was decent. A lot of content in this package. And honestly, if you like last year's version, you'll like this one even more. Just leave in the comments below if you agree or disagree with me, if you think the ambulance and casket matches were not implemented too much differently. They both come off the same to me. But in the end, that's my personal opinion and review of WWE 2K24. I want to thank each and every single one of you for watching these reviews. Give me a thumbs up if you like this review. Please leave comments below so I'll answer each and every single one of them. And of course, here at Devil Dog Gaming, we always end our videos by saying, have fun, play hard, and remember, people, the devil is in the details. Peace out until next time.